Hello, everybody. Welcome to the New Dawn podcast. We're back at it again. It is Thursday. By the time this uploads, it probably won't be. I'm getting to this a little late because I was trying to figure out problems with my Xbox. If you don't follow me on TikTok or Twitch, I've been streaming on Twitch directly from my Xbox, and today I could not open the Twitch app. Or anything for that matter. Nothing would open. I tried turning on and off the console. I tried restarting it. That did not seem to make any progress. So I did a hard restart and I took the power cord out of the console, put it back into the console, turned it on, and for some reason it works, but it did not do the usual Xbox open up. So it's very worrying. I'm gonna take a break from Twitch. This is a little update. I just posted this on TikTok, by the way, so I'm sorry. I want to say that I have to take a break from Twitch. I'm almost 100% sure it's because of that app. So because my console's never done that since I've had it. And I do know that consoles freak out from time to time after years of usage, but something like that was getting it. There was no wires messed with. There was nothing that I could see that was messed with. So that means it was internal stuff. And if I had to pinpoint something out of all the things that would cause my console a problem, it would be the Twitch app. So I'm going to take a little break from streaming over on Twitch, which I'm bummed out about, but I don't want to risk, absolutely destroying my console. So for the time being, Twitch streams will be scarce to non-existent, till I can for sure say, yes, it was the problem, so I can't do it anymore on my console. In which case, I'll have to get a computer setup going. So yeah, I feel bad about that though. It sucks, but it's one of those things where it's going to get to the point where it's out of my control, and I'd rather not lose my Xbox over streaming on Twitch. I know it's about content and stuff like that, but if I lose my Xbox, I quite literally can't get another one, and I can't take it in because of COVID. So I'm just gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to wait it out. I'll give it a couple weeks, maybe a week or so, and see what the deal is when I go back to streaming in like a week or two. But streaming every single day, it has not been good for my console. So I'm gonna delete the Twitch app off my console, see if that improves at all. I'm gonna see if I turn it on again later tonight, if that changes anything. But as of right now, it's fixed and I can play games on it, and that's all I really need it for. Especially when the Skywalker Saga comes out and I get it, because I got it for Xbox. So, yeah. I can't play the Skywalker Saga if I don't have a console to play it on. And I don't have the money to get a new one. So, that's the deal with that. Until I can either figure out a better streaming setup situation, or until I for sure can say it's not the Twitch app, then they're just gonna have to go away for a little while. That's all I can really say about that. So there's a little update for you in case you don't follow me on TikTok, but you follow me over on Twitch, or if you only follow me on YouTube. There you go. Yes, I did stream on Twitch. I no longer stream on Twitch, and I do post on TikTok if you did not know that. Although I would be surprised if you've watched this series so far and not known about my TikTok. Most people know about my YouTube from my TikTok, so there's that. So let's get started with today's topic. After we talked about that, we're going to be talking about quarantine, my personal quarantine. I haven't been sick with COVID, but I've been staying at home as much as I could. The only time I actually went into a building since the pandemic started was to go to the dentist like over 6 months ago or something like that. It was about 6 months ago. 7 months ago? Something like that. I went to the dentist and that was the only time that I've gone into a place. Now I have gone over to like my brother's place. I've gone in there. I've gone on drives since the pandemic. I have gotten out of the house. I go out in the backyard now. But I haven't really gone into anywhere. So that we'll touch more on this after in the second subject. I got 2 subjects we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how I've changed as a person, how I think I've become more of a better person than I was going into it, and how I think this whole thing is changing me. And secondly, our second subject is going to be things that I want to do after. Now, we kind of covered this on the last episode on Tuesday. Not to the full extent. We're going to cover it today, though. We're going to talk about some things that I realized that I was doing before the pandemic, which after the pandemic, I will start taking the proper steps to not do what I was doing before the pandemic. So let's start off with how I have changed. Well, first off, I've become more responsible. For the first couple of months of this pandemic, I said the C word. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on YouTube. My videos don't get monetized either way, though. So, we gotta make up a quick. We'll call it sun time instead of the C word. People are catching sun time too much, and it's not good for them. We'll call it that, just because I don't think we're allowed to say the actual word due to like misinformation things or whatever. Or I don't know if they take down the video or if it gets monetized or like monetization stuff. I don't plan on monetizing my videos on YouTube yet anyway. So yeah, that's kind of the deal. We'll call it sun time from here on out for the rest of this podcast. So when I'm talking about sun time, I'm not talking about going outside and getting sun, which is actually really good for you. It's funny that I picked that. I'm referencing the disease going around, okay? So how have I changed during sun time season? Well, first off, I've become more responsible. For the first couple of months, I was working from home. I had a good sleep schedule, and I had a at-home work ethic, and I learned more stuff about Microsoft things and stuff like that in that couple of months. I learned that my job does have it does kind of have a work at home. Normally, people who are at my level wouldn't be doing it, but they spread it around to different people who wanted to work. So that was nice of my job to do that. They gave us work until like after the first week of June, I think it was. Something like that. So I worked from home. Then I did household projects. And I worked on, as a child, I absolutely hated cleaning my room. So I would do it, but I wouldn't thoroughly do it. So in June, I spent the rest of June and like the first week or so of July going through and thoroughly cleaning that room. Since I've been staying with my mom, I've been doing household projects. I have more of a chore habit when I'm like, okay, well, it's been a little bit since I've done a chore, so I will. Before COVID, I would hardly ever do chores. I'd go to work, but I'd come home from work and have several hours before my next shift, and I wouldn't do anything aside from sitting down and whatnot. I'd probably just sit down, watch YouTube, eat, and then realize I'd have to go back to work. I make it seem like it's a short amount of time, but it is like between shifts, I would have a solid 5.5 hours to get stuff done. And I think this pandemic has put me more in a responsible state where I'm like washing dishes and I'm doing more household chores, realizing things are messy and actually trying to do stuff with that. So it's made me more responsible than I was before. Um, it's first off, it also made me realize how antisocial I was being before. I would go to work, come home, eat, sleep, do whatever I need to do, go back to work again, come home, eat dinner, and then at that point I'd be too tired and just go to bed. So I want to get out of that habit of just work, eat, bed. I want to get out of that habit once I get out of this pandemic. It's also made me realize the lack of friends that I have, in which I want to change that. And figuring out, okay, well, what are the steps I should take to actually make more friends? So far I've made, I guess you could technically say I've made a couple friends from TikTok, but I wouldn't call them close friends, mainly because of their age and the fact that I can't really go hang out with them. I'm trying to make more close friends. Currently, the only way to do that for me is through TikTok and social media, and it's going to be an interesting process to say the least. Especially when a lot of my followers are on the younger side. Making friends is very interesting to say the least. And I tend not to try and make friends with younger people. I have had friends in the past who were younger, and not to say it was weird hanging out with them, because they were only like a few years younger than me. We went to high school together and all that stuff. But I want to make more friends after this pandemic. Get into relationships and do stuff like that. I've accidentally moved on to the second subject. All right, so we'll go back to this first subject, but that's part of the realizations is friends and relationships, and what are the proper steps to get into those. So where was I then in my story? I finished my room project, did a thorough clean of it, got it organized and sorted out. At that point, so through that entire month, I was getting ads for Ultra Sabers. I was doing my research. I was talking to myself. Well, not necessarily talking, but I was thinking. I was like, okay, well, how can I earn this saber instead of just buying it outright? I said, well, I'll get this room cleaned up, and then I can get one that's about $100-ish, $160, I think it was. So I finished the project. I went through, picked out the saber that I was going to enjoy the most. And then I continue on, doing household projects, chores, stuff like that, so that I'm still doing something and showing support since I can't work anymore. What time was that? It was probably, so I kept doing that August or September. I went to the dentist, and around mid-July, roughly, I think, is when I started. Was that when I started cooking? No, I started cooking back in like April or May or June. April to June, I started actually cooking more meals for my family. I started learning more recipes and stuff like that. So that adds on to the responsible thing, which has prepared me more than what I was prepared for before when I get my own place. When I get my own house or whatever, I can actually now cook about a week's worth of meals. and those portions would be for an entire family. So I could do like I'd have food for several weeks after only cooking about a week's worth. Um, I think it depends on a lot of stuff, how much I'm eating in a day and all these other things. But I do think I have become more responsible through this pandemic during sun time than I was beforehand. Um, it's given me time to think. I've seen a lot of things during this pandemic. I've seen, well, for example, alone, January, we had the Capitol riots, and so I've witnessed stuff like that. Um, I've seen people going out having parties. I've seen people going out into public not wearing masks, and it just makes me sit here like, sometimes I'm like, what's the point of doing what I'm doing? Why do I stay home if all these people are still going out and doing it anyways? Then I remember, oh, because I'm an actually decent person. I understand that other people's, even if I get it, I'm most not. I'm, if I get sun time, if I get the bad sun time, and I could therefore spread it to the rest of my family, and who could spread it to the rest of our family. And a lot of people in my family are of the age where them getting it could be fatal. And I know people who know people that are of age where it could be fatal. It may not be fatal to me, at least that's what I've heard. Um, but it would be fatal to others. And that's why I stay home. We do as much not having to go into places as possible. If we desperately need something, we'll order it off of Amazon, or we have a fries that we do click it from. So there's minimal to no contact with other people. We're wiping down everything as we get it. If we're getting stuff in the mail, it's getting wiped down same day. Or we let it sit out front, although that's probably not a bad idea. Or, I mean, it is a bad idea to do that. And usually if there's a package that we're all expecting, we'll bring it in and wipe it down quite literally the moment it gets there. Because anytime the mailman shows up, our dog freaks out about it. So it's hard not to know when the mailman's here. Especially if he knocks on the door or something. And I've seen a lot of things like back last year, it was probably May or something like that. The whole George Floyd thing, all that injustice. I've seen so much crap through the last year. It's given me time to think about it and really process it and realize several things. And I'm not really going to go in depth on them here. But I have realized a bunch of things. I have realized things like, oh, humanity is just a bunch of idiots. Like 99% of them are. 99.9999%. So that, yeah, I've realized a bunch of things from just being on social media. Like back in, I was probably on TikTok a bunch back in like March to May. I would watch a bunch of TikToks, but I never really like posted anything. I had 2 posts before I actually started posting, 2 memes from way back in the day that I had on Instagram or something like that. And I took those down the day I started posting, or not the day of, but around the time I started actually posting on TikTok, I left those memes up. I took them down eventually, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to start posting my own content now. And here we are today, doing the New Dawn podcast. Several months later, I've almost done TikTok for a year straight. That's weird to think about. That I've almost done this for a year straight. I've made a lot of progress in that year. I've gained over 3,000 followers. That's more people than I can ever imagine in one place. I think the most I've ever seen in any given place is like 100. I mean, not including stadiums. I mean, I have seen stadiums full of people, but it's not, you don't like, you're a part of the crowd. It's not people. Oh, I guess I have been in performances before, but even then, it was probably like 100 or roughly 100 people in the stadium or in the auditorium or wherever. It's never been like, dang, there's like thousands upon thousands of people here. You know what? I've performed at graduations. I keep backtracking because I keep thinking of more scenarios where there would be a bunch of people. If you didn't know, I talked about this on my live a little bit earlier today. I, through my high school career and partially through middle school, actually, it started in elementary. Man, I am not doing good with this, am I? Um, Back in elementary, I started playing the clarinet in the elementary school band in 5th grade. And then in 6th grade, I believe I've talked about this before, but I'm going to go over it again to help with my point of whatever I'm trying to do here. Oh, that is not good. But we leave it unedited here, folks. We leave it unedited. Through 6th grade, I continued playing clarinet. About either halfway through or the last quarter, my band instructor put me on bass clarinet, and I continued doing bass clarinet pretty much through the rest of my band career. So through the rest of middle school, I played bass clarinet, and I really only played bass clarinet. I occasionally would play clarinet for when we would go to so our high school would have middle school nights where the middle schoolers from middle schools near the area and all that, they would come over. And they'd see how the marching band works, and they'd get to participate in the stands and stuff. So when we would do that when I was in middle school, I would bring the clarinet, and I would use the clarinet for that. And I think that's where I started my thing for marching band. Oh. Anyways, so freshman year, I'm still playing the bass clarinet first half of the semester in the concert band at my high school. Second semester, wait, was it that year? I believe it was that year, because the following year I got put into the symphonic band, the top band at our school. My band instructor at the time, he put me on contrabass clarinet, massive instrument, and I absolutely loved it. In normal band, I would play contrabass clarinet, and freshman year, I started doing marching band as the season started. I was there from day one until I don't even think I missed a single day for any reason. There might have been one day where no, I'm pretty sure I made it to every single camp possible. Oh, I don't remember. Anyways, I did marching band for 4 years, and that's where I continued to play clarinet. So pretty much that would be my use for clarinet. Would be marching band, pep band, all that kind of stuff. Note, there's performances throughout all of this, all of varying sizes. Middle school, it was probably, parents of all the kids, and there was maybe like 20 kids in the band, 30 kids, something like that. So, at most, there's probably 100 or so parents in the room. 100, 200 maybe. For middle school, it's probably like 100. High school, freshman year, performance sizes, most children have two parents. Even if they're divorced, both parents might still show up. That was not the case in our family after a while. Well, I guess that wasn't true. That's not true all the time anyway. Where am I going with this? So you still got about 100, maybe 200 people, 200 parents and siblings coming to watch band performances. And this is across now several bands, whereas in middle school is maybe 1-2 bands, and the orchestra and maybe the choir in the same day. All of them, 100 to 200. When you do high school performances, I'm going so off track with this, but you know what? We got a solid hour, so let's let's keep going on this rant. High school performances. The band itself, or at least at our school, we had the percussion ensemble, we had the concert band, and the symphonic band, and maybe the jazz. I don't remember having a jazz band. I know there was one after I left because I was watching more, but I don't remember them performing at the band concerts. They might have gotten their own concert day or something like that. Either way, so you'd still get maybe, let's say 100 to 300 because you've branched off to like three bands at this point. And it only got more over the couple of years because once I left, they created... No, they just changed the name. I don't remember. So there's 3 to 4 groups that perform. Sometimes the middle schoolers will come and perform, so there's 5. So you'll end up with probably 100 to 300. I don't remember the max capacity. That would for sure tell me how many people were in a given performance. Starting, I don't remember if it was freshman year or sophomore year, but one of those 2 years, I think I did freshman year. I started to perform at graduations at the end of the year. So that's however many's in the class. You could have maybe 100, 200 or more in a given class. And each of those people have a parent or two or several relatives showing up. So I think graduations were the most... were the place where I've performed for the most people. So I guess I could kind of visualize it, but even then, it wasn't like I was doing everything on my own. I was a part of a group, and it was a large group at that. And if I made a mistake, there were most likely other people playing my instrument, so it wouldn't be that noticeable. Now, as a content creator, loop this back around, baby. I'm doing this all on my own. I have no one editing my videos. No one records my videos for me. It's all done by me. And here's why this is going to relate to the pandemic. But I do want to say thank you all for 3,000. I think we're close to 100. If not, we've passed it on YouTube. I was at 66 followers on Twitch for a while. I was very happy about that because I've been streaming a bunch of Star Wars games recently. I'm very excited, right? It's very cool to be in this position that I'm in where I'm pretty much performing for 3,000 people, given that the algorithm does not put my video out for all of them. But I covered that the other week when I talked about TikTok and why I hate it. And I'm going to make another TikTok about it probably tomorrow. It's very different than performing as a musician and trying to perform as we'll say a content creator. Because, I'm in a group as a musician. I'm working with other people. And it fits together. As a person on my own, as a solo person, doing content creation has not been easy for me personally. I know some people do it really well. Some people do a bunch of collabs. I don't know of many people that are content creators in my area. And even if I did, I would not be going to see them right now. Because we're in a pandemic. So the point is that, so now I'm going to loop this back to the pandemic and sun time and why this all sucks. But there's light in the darkness, right? It's given me something to do. Being a content creator, when I started posting, I've pretty much posted I can say almost every single day for a solid couple months. Now I have taken a couple of days off. I do remember taking a couple of days off, just because I'd have a really bad day or whatever, or I'd maybe get halfway through the day and then be done. So there would just be a couple times where I'd just take the day off. But through pretty much, I want to say January onward, I can say, or let's say February onward, I can for sure say that I have not taken a day off of posting. Mainly because February I wanted to do 20 videos a day, and I started getting that habit, and it kept me busy. Here's a little podcast only exclusive. You heard it here first, because I'm not going to post about it on TikTok for maybe, I might talk about it tomorrow, but if I forget, then it'll be closer to April. Starting April 1st, I'm going to be bumping up to 23 videos a day, and here's why. I had my birthday during the pandemic. This is how this is going to relate. I had a pandemic birthday. I turned 23 on the 23rd. If you do not know what that is, it's called a golden birthday. So I am celebrating my golden birthday this year, and so far, the first 5 months of it has been spent sheltered. Like the first couple of months before my birthday. So I wanted to celebrate the last 6 months by posting 23 videos every single day. No days off, except for, well, I'm still debating on the whole taking a week off thing when I go back to work. Because I have said over the past week or so, I've been talking about how I want to take a week off so I can see scheduling stuff. However, if I want to commit to 6 months straight of 23 videos, then I can't take that week off, right? There would be no scenario where I could take that week off and still say I posted for 6 months straight. So I'm going to kind of figure out what I really, really want to do. If I'm just going to say every day I post, I'm going to post 23 because I turned 23. And I might we've crossed 2,300. So I'm trying to think the next time I will see 23 is at 23,000. Correct? Well, I mean, there's 12,300. But that's not really 23. It's 12,300. So I think the next time it is 23,000. So maybe I'll try and hit 23,000 by my birthday this year. I think that would be pretty cool. And that would set me up at a place to hope. I've heard things about the Creator Fund and how it's pretty crap. And how TikTok kind of screws you over on views. They're already screwing me over on views anyway, so it wouldn't change much. Yeah, so TikTok's giving me stuff to do. It's kept me occupied. Doing this kind of stuff where I just sit here and talk, I do enjoy because it kind of gives me time to think and talk and put my thoughts somewhere. And kind of go over my life, talk about things I want to do, things I've done. Eventually, I will start doing more story times on this podcast as I think of stories that relate to themes of the week. Is that good? I feel like I've left so many open pages. I've left so many open books. So if I did, feel free to ask questions, and I will be sure to write them down. And if I left too many questions opened, then I will do on Saturday's podcast. I will do a part 2 to today and just answer questions if need be. because I'm spacing on everything I've talked about already. I talked about band, performing at graduation. Oh, you know what? When I would go to like state, there would be bands and parents of the kids in the bands for marching band. So that was probably a big chunk of people as well. But regardless, like I said before, um, that was marching band, that was regular band, that was me as a in a group. Oh, I didn't. All right. Backtrack for a second. Oh, nah. Oh, see, this is the day where I regret not editing. Oh, my thoughts are all over the place. Um, so I played clarinet and marching band, contrabass. I started halfway through freshman year, and then the bass clarinet did not just disappear after that. I don't remember if I started freshman year or if I started sophomore year, but one of those years I started playing in the symphony, which is the orchestra and the band mixed together. Um, and that's where bass clarinet went. And when I would go on the school band road trips, sometimes I would bring the bass clarinet only, sometimes I would bring both. Um, yeah. So that was kind of the rest of my band career. I have performed in front of people, but that was as a group. Now I am on my own. 3,000 is a lot of people to get on my own. I keep saying this. I've set really big goals for myself and I work towards those every single day, but the actually seeing it is so much different than saying, "Yes, I'm going to hit this number." And then thinking about how every single number is an individual person that will probably see my content, thanks TikTok. It's it's astonishing to say the least. Um, and I am grateful that I could potentially say that I might one day be a full-time content creator. The fact that I could do things like this for a living, where I sit here and ramble. It is rambling. It's not ranting because it's not uh, infuriated. That's probably not a real word. It's not. I'm not angry when I'm sitting here talking. I'm just sitting here talking. So I'm sitting here rambling like I am now. All right. So back to the original topic. So we got through all the band stuff. The bass clarinet did not disappear. I played symphony. I've performed for people, but that was as a group. Now I'm doing this all on my own. I have tried doing content creation before, but because I was so distracted and I was not putting my full effort into it, it failed every single time. I did try doing a group YouTube channel with some old pals. That failed because, well, honestly, I was willing to put in the effort and uh, everything just kind of stopped. So now I'm doing this. Um, so yeah, that's where I am as a content creator. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, all of this stuff that's happened. It's giving me something to put my creativity towards while in this pandemic. Before the pandemic, I would do projects or whatever like that. I worked with kids for a while. I won't say what company. I can't. I don't believe I can say what company. But I was working with kids for a while. Um, March 15th was the last time I worked at a site, I think. So that's coming up soon. Woo-wee. It's been a long year. And the last time I worked at a site, it was like 11 and a half hours. Now I was given, actually, now that I say it out loud, it's probably, no, it's probably 11 hours. 11 and a half? Oh, 10 and a half. I worked a longer shift, but it was not consecutive. I was working, and then we were hearing about this whole sun time thing, and they seemed short on staff. So I was like, hey, if I go home and eat lunch and then come back, would that be cool? And they were like, yep. I was like, cool, I'll do that. And I went home and had lunch for like an hour, and then I went back to work. And that was the last time I worked at a site. And I will always remember that, and I will always say that, although I still debate on if it was 11. Let's see, I started at 6:30 in the morning. Then I worked till 12:30, so that's 6 hours. Came back at about 1:30. Then worked till 6. Was it 6 or 6:30? I think I was there until like 6:20, clocked out, but I was still there until like 6:30 or something like that. So basically, I was doing stuff for 12 hours, but I did get an hour break in there. That was the last time I worked at a site before Suntime got super serious. That was right when people didn't have to go out and wear masks. Because I remember the following Tuesday, which was the last time I actually had seen the people I worked with. We had this meeting outside, and it was like nobody gets too close quarters and all that stuff. We didn't have to wear masks because COVID wasn't a super duper bad thing. It was, I said it, Suntime was not a super duper bad thing. I really hope this doesn't get taken down now that I've said it a couple times. It wasn't a bad thing, right? It was just there. It wasn't affecting everybody. Now that it's pretty much affecting everybody, it's just not a good idea to go out. So I've occupied myself by putting creative energy towards TikTok, by putting out some kind of energy towards TikTok, getting TikToks done. And then I vamped up my content to 20 videos a day, which just means now if I don't, stand over there where the light is currently and do a giant recording session, I do it in 5 videos. I do 5 video recording sessions, sit down, edit, post them, or I might edit and post as I go, but only do 5 at a time. So I only end up doing 4 posting sessions throughout the day. Then in April, did I say why? April is 6 months. Not April 1st necessarily, but April 23rd will be 6 months before my birthday. So just April 1st, I'm going to start posting 23 times a day. That's why I wanted to do that. Yeah, so I'm no longer working, but I am focusing on potentially making this a full-time career. And it's not something where I can just say apply and people pay me per post. No, that is not how this works. I wish, though. Every time I uploaded one of these, if I got paid, that's sponsorships. that's how they work. Is it? I don't know how they work. I've just seen people, like Raid Shadow Legends was sponsoring a bunch of people, and that became a meme in itself. And anytime you talked about the game, not anytime you talked about it, but if you made a deal, they would pay you for it. I think that's how it works. Sometimes they give you in-game content. I feel like at my current state, there's only a couple brands that I would actually let sponsor me. Unless if some of them came at me with like a big deal, right? Because I currently have no income. And if they're willing to give me a source of income, I would consider it. And depending on the brand and what their history is and all that stuff, I would actually go through with it. Currently, there's one brand that if they contacted me, I would be like, yes, absolutely, yes. I will talk great about your product. And I haven't really talked about this in a while. But you'll see them in some of my TikToks. They kind of changed the lighting of my videos. Sometimes they change the color of my videos. I don't know if I'm talking good about them. If you do not know the brand Crimson Dawn, they're a saber company. They sell really good sabers. I would highly recommend them. I'm not paid to say this. I would love to be paid to say this, but I would highly recommend their sabers. Out of all the brands that I've seen, I absolutely love their sabers. Now, because they're not paying me, I can say that their designs can be kind of generic, because you could go to a couple other stores and find a similar design to some of their hilts. So it's not like every single one you get is unique. Now, what makes it unique is, first off, the color you pick. So each hilt design has different colors you can get. And then what even makes it more unique is the color you use. And then there's different sound fonts you can use. So that's what makes them unique. Now, I didn't finish my Ultra Saber story. This one's not scuffed because everything's working as of right now. And I have all this stuff written down. I've talked about most of this stuff already on my second subject. I want to eat more fast food. I haven't had fast food in over a year, or close to it. That's work. I guess I'm kind of talking about it. Friends, relationship, and being more social. Yes, I was pretty much, my life didn't change too much. Crimson Dawn's great. Finish that off. Love their sabers, different designs. Even though they have designs that you can find, they're greatly priced. They're not too expensive for what you get. And some of the designs are actually really cool. And because it's Crimson Dawn, I trust them at this point. I know that I will be getting a product within a few months, or not a few months, within a few weeks even. My story with Ultra Sabers goes, I ordered a saber that I customized. I went through, fully customized it. It was going to be, what was it going to be? Was it going to be a stunt saber, or was it going to have sound? If it was going to have sound, it was going to be very basic. And it was going to be a black hilt. I think it was called like the Sentinel or something like that. It had windows in it and everything. And I was going to get it. And my first problem was, on their webpage, they did not put out of stock. Their first problem was they waited until September. So remember, I ordered this back in July. We're going to talk about saber companies for a minute. Sorry. Crimson Dawn, good. Yes. Order from Crimson Dawn. They have good designs. And they're not overly priced for basic sound and RGB. What? Crimson Dawn, pay me. Imagine what you could do if you gave me a script. I would highly recommend it, though. All jokes aside, I highly recommend it. I have 3 out of my 4 sabers come from Crimson Dawn, and I've had all of them since October, maybe. Yeah, I got 2 like a week or so before my birthday, and then I got 1 on my birthday, and I've had those 3 since. No issues, nothing. My 4th one I got from Age of Sabers off of Etsy. I wouldn't recommend them as much as Crimson Dawn, but they're not bad. They just have less designs to pick from. Now back to Ultra Sabers, the scumbags. I bought a saber from them, probably like 160, 180 bucks, something like that, in early July after I finished cleaning my room. Remember I was talking about that? I finished cleaning my room, and I ordered a saber from them. I got it customized to the way I want it within a budget range. And then I started posting on TikTok. And around August, September, I started talking about it more. I believe September is when they finally contacted me to tell me that they didn't have it in stock. They waited several months to tell me that they didn't have on their webpage a saber in stock. And after this problem, I've gone to their page probably once or twice to see if it was still up, and it was. So they're just out to scam more people. Do not trust Ultra Sabers. I know some people really want that nice customized saber it sounds like there's other brands to go see. I've heard Saber Trio is really good. Um, Although they kind of also have the problem of they charge you more just to have RGB and smooth swing. Now I understand that smooth swing in itself is pretty expensive, but you got companies like Crimson Dawn who do smooth swing hilts and RGB. Now my hilts are not smooth swing, right? But all of mine were about $100. They might have been a little over. I know there was two that were about 90-ish, 99 maybe, and the other two were like 100 and something. I don't remember what, but the other two were over 100. I 100% till the day I die will always talk good about Crimson Dawn. They have fast shipping time. They have good response time. I was so worried after the whole Ultra Sabers misdeed that I wanted to contact Crimson Dawn's community customer service first. They got back to me like the following day. Or it was either the following day or the following week. They got back to me saying, yeah, we'll be sure everything is in order and I have everything there, and it takes only a couple of weeks to get there and all this stuff. Ultra Sabers take several months to get back to you, and they give you the option of, we give you a cheaper Saber, and I don't remember if they were going to refund the rest of the money or not. I think they said they were going to. But the fact that now that I think about it, I wouldn't really believe that they would actually do that. They'd probably just keep the money. So they gave me a few options because they said at that point it would take another couple months to get their stock back in for that specific hilt. So I would have to wait another couple months before I even heard anything from them again. Which sucks. Which absolutely sucks. That I was either going to have to choose a cheaper Saber, wait even longer to get my Saber, so my content could not really take off for several more months, or I could cancel. But there's problems with each of those options. First off, they probably weren't going to refund the money if I chose the cheaper option, and it wasn't even the same design that I picked. They had a cheaper one of the same design, but they didn't offer that one. That was the only one they would offer. So there's douche reason number one for that. Reason two, if I had to wait longer, I already waited 2 more months. At that point, I was just like, well, I might as well just go to a different company at this point. So I went with option 3. I wanted to cancel. They canceled my order, refunded most of the money, and they still kept some of the money without delivering a product, without delivering me a Saber, nothing. Wasting 2 months of my time where I could have gone to a better company. And the only reason that I went to this company first was because I was getting ads for them everywhere. I caved and I was like, all right, I want to get one of these Sabers from this brand because all the other brands seemed like, at the time, I was just looking for a custom Saber, and I was either going to do that or Saber Forge, and I had seen that it was going to take several months for most brands, and I heard Saber Forge was just absolutely terrible. Actually, Saber Forge is probably right up there with Ultra Sabers, and I have never bought from them. I've heard horror stories of them taking like 10 months to get a custom Saber out, and their customer service is terrible. So I don't ever plan to buy from Saber Forge. Now, Saber Trio, I've heard great things about people getting their Sabers, and they're looking really nice, and it takes probably a couple months. They at least, I think, at least they say, yeah, it'll probably take a couple months for you to get your Saber. But their store has been closed during no sun time. During sun time. So it's a shame because I honestly would have bought a Saber from them, but they didn't have anything in stock. So I went with Ultra Sabers. They've scammed me. Now I absolutely hate Ultra Sabers. And if anybody asked me ever in my career of being a content creator, would you recommend Ultra Sabers? I will give them an NO, and here's why. And I think the fact that first off, they kept money after not delivering a product. That's their first problem, is you should give back a full refund for not delivering a full product. Because I got nothing from them. I didn't get anything from them. And I absolutely despise them for it. This was like September now. They contacted me. I told them I want to cancel. I had my whole dispute with them. They only gave me back some of the money. At this point, I was bummed out. I was like, man, I'm never going to get a lightsaber. And so I started browsing on Etsy because I figured that would be my next best place to look until I found a better company, which now I have. Crimson Dawn. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What was I saying? I distracted myself. So I was browsing Etsy one day. I was looking at all the Saber companies that were on there. There's companies like Saber Forge where they sell some of the Saber Forge products, but they don't. It's like different than the actual store. But I've heard the customer service is better over on Etsy. I ended up ordering from Aegis Sabers. I found a company called Aegis Sabers. There was a couple of them that I was interested in, but I wasn't sure about. And Aegis was just the one that stuck out to me. So I ended up buying a Defender V1 from them. And I got that. It was probably not a month later. It was probably a couple weeks later. It was definitely longer than Crimson Dawn was. But I eventually got that saber, ended up falling in love, and then that was pretty early on in my content career when I got that and I started posting about it. It was probably a couple months in, I guess, if I started in July. Then I said at 1,000, I would buy 2 more from Crimson Dawn, and I would not 2 more. I said I would buy some and let my fans pick. And I had this whole tournament thing going on, and there was maybe that's what I should do when I hit 5,000. I didn't do that. I haven't done that in a while. Back when I hit 1,000, I said I would let my fans pick my next saber. So I picked out 4 designs that I liked. I picked out the Wraith, and I said 2 times Wraith because they were like $90 or something like that. So I figured I could get 2 of them because they were some of the cheaper ones. I picked out the Typhon, the Suken Shido, and what was the other one? There was a 4th one. The Dragoon. I believe my fans, I don't remember what the votes ended up being because it was a little while after that when I hit 1,000. I probably made that post at like 500, 600, or 700. And then I let my fans, pick. I don't remember what the votes ended up being. But when I did my first live, I sat down and I was like, all right, guys, we're going to pick. And I had a couple people in the chat at the time. I was like, we're going to pick a few. We're going to pick a few of these sabers. We're going to see which ones we like the most. And they ended up picking the 2 Wraiths. Which was about, I think it was like $180, maybe a little more than that, for the 2 sabers. Now, let's tie this back to Ultra Sabers. I was about to spend $181. I think it was 181. 180, let's say. I was about to spend $180 for, first off, a saber that I never received. Secondly, it was only 1 saber. Third, it was only a stunt saber. No sound whatsoever. And fourthly, it was only going to be a blue saber. My Crimson Dawn sabers are, first off, RGB. They have basic sound. No, it's not smooth swing, but there is, I believe, the option to get smooth swing with the more fancier sabers on the page. They sell an Obi-Wan Kenobi one, and I really want to get it from episode 3 because that's one of the saber hilts I want to get. The Crimson Dawn has NeoPixels, all for about 300. Crimson Dawn's NeoPixels can range from like 500 or more. And that's with the RGB, that's with the smooth swing. Their Crimson Dawn's cheapest NeoPixel, I don't know if it's smooth swing or not, but I do know I believe it's NeoPixel, is roughly looking like Ray's new hilt. And it's like $160. We stand Crimson Dawn in this household. Today's has been all over the place. It's not as scuffed. Everything's worked. I've had a script here, but I have now gone for an hour. I just realized, and I've kind of branched away from quarantine, I guess. I guess I've kind of been talking about it as I go, but I keep getting distracted. So yeah, Crimson Dawn, really good page. Ultra Sabers sucks. They don't deliver the sabers like 50% of the time. I've seen people get Ultra Sabers in like a week. And then they took 2 months to tell me they didn't have it in stock. So yeah, that makes me have even more assumptions about it. Yeah, I like my Crimson Dawn sabers. I think I will make a post tomorrow saying when I hit 5,000, I will live stream buying my next saber. Because I think 5,000 is a pretty big number. And I think at 10,000, I don't want to say pick the next NeoPixel. I kind of want to pick my first NeoPixel. Kind of like what I did with my current sabers. I picked out my first one. So I think I will do a live stream when I hit 5,000, and I will I might even do a thing where it's like when I'm a couple away I'll start it, and then once I hit 5,000 I will do a live and then get a NeoPixel saber. I have never owned a NeoPixel saber. I have only had in-hilt sabers. But like I said, Crimson Dawn, best company out there to get your basic sabers from. I have not tested out their NeoPixel yet. I think that's going to be what I do when I hit 5,000. Yep. That'll be how I celebrate 5,000 anyway. And I'll just do a live stream, show you guys what I'm picking, show you who I'm getting it from, and all the features it comes with. Then we'll order it, and then several weeks later, I will probably get it and do an unboxing video of it. I'm very tempted to get that Ray one, just based on its price. If it's a NeoPixel and Smooth Swing for $160, now, there was a sale going on, so I'd have to check prices again. But Crimson Dawn is the best, and we're going to relate this back to quarantine. Doing saber spinning videos has given me more of a reason to go out at nighttime. It's given me more of a reason to have something to practice. And it's partially started pushing me towards a new hobby once the pandemic is over. Once sun time is over, I can start going out and doing some spinning videos out in public and in places where I currently could not go because of sun time. So, yeah, I believe I covered everything on my list. I know today was kind of everywhere. I just kind of sat here and rambled. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well, the viewer. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here after this hour-long episode. Do you guys like that it's an hour? Should I condense these to less? If you watched this all the way through, answer these questions, please. If you did not, I will make TikToks about it tomorrow. Let me know what you think of these. Are you enjoying these? I know I'm enjoying these. I'm just sitting here and talking for however long. Sometimes it's been 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour long. So I've been enjoying these. I hope you enjoy these as well. I'm going to start wrapping up here. I got to get this posted because when I first started, it was like 11 o'clock. So now it's midnight probably. If you have any questions, you want to ask me any questions about the topics I covered, if there is more than enough questions to make a podcast out of it, then I will do like a part 2 to this one. It'll probably be titled differently, of course. If you have any questions about my pandemic life, feel free to ask. If you want me to make a video about it on TikTok, feel free to ask. Although my life on a day-to-day basis is very uneventful. I wake up, I have my coffee, I do TikTok, sometimes I watch Star Wars, I eat food, and then I go to bed. Sometimes I play video games in there. Sometimes I stream in there, although that's no longer the case. So my solution, so I know at the very beginning I said an update about how I'm not going to be doing Twitch streams anymore, mainly because I don't know if that is the cause of my console freaking out. If it is, then I will no longer be doing Twitch streams from my console, and I will have to wait until I can get a capture card and all that stuff set up. So in the meantime, I will be doing TikTok lives, and I will do them every single day. Although I don't know if I will commit to the 2 p.m. TikTok live. I think I'll either do it around when my followers are most active, or based on what's better for my viewers. When it comes to TikTok lives, I do want to do it based more around what my followers are willing to do than what I'm willing to do, because there is a difference there. My followers are spanned all across the planet, right? I got some people in Ireland, Europe, England. I don't think I have any in Russia. I might. I have followers pretty much covering most of the planet, I would like to say. So the different time zones, right? A lot of my more common followers, I will say, people whose accounts I see more often, some of them are over in Europe. So right now it's probably like morning time, early day, kind of that time-ish, I think. So I might do TikTok lives maybe around this time. I did the very first time I hit 1,000, I did a live, and it started at like 10 and went until like midnight or something like that. But I also want to start bringing more stuff to do while I'm doing a TikTok live. That way I'm not bored if nobody's there. And because TikTok lives are easier to do, I think, than streaming on Twitch, because I just hit a button and there we go. Stream for an hour, live for an hour, right? I might start doing like 2 of them a day, but they might be 30 minutes long. Now, yes, I could technically do that with Twitch as well. Well, I guess I currently can't do it, but here in the next few days, I might try and do another Twitch stream, but I'm going to delete the app first from my console to see if that was the major issue. And if my console is running better over the next couple of days, then I'm not going to Twitch stream anymore. So TikTok lives will have to do for now. Because that's about as good as I can do. Since I am no expert and I don't want my console to break when I literally can't. First off, I'm going to be very pick and choose about what I spend my money on. Like I could get a Saber if I wanted to. I go for a really cheap one. Would I prefer that over a console though? That's why I want to wait until I hit 5,000, because I do know it's going to take me. It's going to take me a hot minute to get to 5,000 unless the algorithm decides it's time for this video to be pushed out. which is possible, you never know. But at the current rate I'm going, it's going to be a hot minute before I hit 5,000. So that'll give me some time to say, okay, I'm not going to get a new Saber. I'm going to instead get a new console so I can continue streaming on Twitch. Or I'd say, well, no more Xbox until the pandemic is over. Which is why I'm very worried about my console, because it's helped me get through the pandemic. I've played games with my brother on it. I've played games on my own on it. I do not want to lose it. It's kind of valuable to my mental sanity. But anyways, Disney Plus has been great through the pandemic. I've been watching a bunch of Star Wars, and lately I've been going and watching movies with my mom while we eat dinner. We've been watching the Pirates movies and National Treasure movies. Disney Plus doesn't have all the Pirates movies on there, unless if there's only 4 of them. But I thought there was 5 because they did a Fountain of Youth movie. Unless if it was mixed in with The Ghost, but I don't remember that because it was Blackbeard was the main villain. Anyways, Disney Plus doesn't have all the pirate movies on there, and it's frustrating. Yeah, I think that's it for this episode of the New Dawn podcast. I hope you enjoyed. I really do hope you enjoy these as much as I do. I like just coming here and sitting down and talking. I don't normally talk enough as it is. I do talk sometimes on TikTok. I make audios a bunch, but like since the pandemic started, I haven't really just talked and talked and talked and talked. Actually, my whole life, I haven't really just talked and talked and talked and talked for an hour straight. I was never in a situation where people would let me sit there and talk for an hour. It sounded like pudgy. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. I got stuff I'm gonna go do. I think that's it. That's a wrap. Crimson Dawn's good. Remember that. I'm a musician, or I was a musician. Not really much of a musician anymore. Pandemic, quarantine, sun time. Stay safe. Hope you're staying safe during these not so safe times. My mom got her vaccine the other day, so we're very excited about that. She's gonna go back in I think she got it on Monday, so she goes back in a month and gets the second dosage, and then it's 2 weeks after that, and then she's good. Then she's gonna go see her mom. I'm very happy because she's missed her mom this entire time. I know if I was on my own through this entire thing, first off, I probably would not have survived, and I would not be the person who I am today. So I'm glad that she's getting her vaccine. And I'm hoping I'm getting mine here in next month or so. I hope anyway. Yeah. I'm so sorry about this episode. It's been all over the place. I hope you enjoyed it though. The randomness, you kind of see how my brain functions even though I have a script here. This is why I don't do word for word scripts, because I would not stick to it even in that case. But I believe I did cover all the topics, and then I just chilled out and talked for an hour. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye. That's Mark's thing. See you guys. What am I doing with my life? Adios, amigos, mo bambinos. Bye. See you on Saturday. Have a great day, evening, or night. Bye.